Yeah.
No, oh, that's what you use, that, okay. All right, so, I'd like to call the regularly scheduled select board meeting for February 12th to order. Before, could we stand and recite the pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I need a haircut. Just saying. All right. Item 2, public comment on items that are not on the agenda. Yes, ma'am.
Well, guess I'm gonna have to, based on the email I got this afternoon, I have 2 questions, direct them to Christine.
Sure.
Okay. Can you give an update as to why the roads were not done very well, the last storm? When Acres was in touch for hours again.
Yep, I believe when you spoke to Chair Pushard, he called me and I spoke to him. He had a couple of breakdowns. He was working on the trucks, which we actually monitored by the cameras. And then storms kind of run into each other. I think the last storm, he was trying to keep up, if I remember correctly. So I know you were concerned about my phone number, so
Yeah, and
I did provide it. So
And I responded in.
okay, I haven't seen that yet.
Based on a previous meeting, Mike had said, because remember I'd asked to do like a burner phone, Mike had said I could call him, so that's why I did.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, no, and him and I had chit-chatted and whatnot, so hopefully, I think after last storm, we had a conversation with Mike and told him he's really got to address the subdivisions and make sure that they're taken care of on a priority also.
Right, and
So-
like Hollowell Road was in, Townhouse Road had been, it was like a lane and a half.
Okay,
Sully Road hadn't even been touched.
And I talked to him about that,
yeah,
and he knew it, and he said, no, that's gotta get better. I said, I mean, all the roads in a storm, depending on how much snow's coming down at an hour or whatever, I said, you at least gotta get out there, and all the roads have to be touched at least once. You know,
Right.
then his focus is on, the way he explained it to me, his focus was on keeping all the main roads open.
And I
And-
understand that, but had there been an issue on Sully Road, you weren't getting an ambulance down it. When Windy Acres was literally a lane and a half, I took pictures and video, and like he went through, and I can verify it on my cameras, this is why I'm like, oh, and then, you know, I was like, oh, he finally came by a second time. So I get breakdowns and stuff, but it's just like, here we go. The other thing I would like to address is, and it seems sporadic, the intersections are not being cleaned up. There's always a wing out at the end of Route 9, at the end of each street on Route 9, where the garage sits too close to the road, there's always a wing there.
yeah.
And the same cars get hung up, and there's a Subaru that went off, that was kind of entertaining, but that was driving, so it's just,
Are you talking about like height and that sort of thing?
no, I'm not even talking about height, like windrows left,
Okay,
just right out there.
okay,
Yeah, I noticed that when he drives, he just, instead of coming in section and pulling up and just plowing it off and then he just drives through it and leaves a whole wing around. I noticed a few intersections. that
Yeah,
might-
a small car is not gonna get through these, and there has been one
all right.
stuck. So
Yeah.
that's, if that could just be addressed with him.
sure, yeah, yeah. I know that the new contract has gone out and some of the things have, I shouldn't say, the new RFP for a new contract went out. And there's been some modifications in that to address these past concerns over the past couple of years, so fingers crossed, depending on.
And I'm
but-
glad to, to hear that we've all been able to use this as a learning experience.
Yep.
The other question I have is regarding my email on Monday and the neglect situation.
Mhm.
Is the state vet involved? Because those
So,
are seizures.
as of today, nobody has contacted animal welfare. I did ask the CEO, the animal control officer, the ACO, to write a report on everything that's been happening over there. She did briefly give me an update this afternoon, it was around lunchtime, I guess. There is still an animal left over there that is being addressed. I think Anna Bessacook was there in December and did euthanize a horse. At that point in December, there was no other concern with the other 3 horses that were there.
I have a
So.
picture I can show you.
Which,
And
I'm not saying
No,
from
and I
December to
understand-
now, it didn't
right.
get bad, but,
Well, and that's what I'm saying.
yeah.
Looking at the horse, and this is a young horse,
Mhm.
she was bad in December to look this way now.
The only thing I can tell you is that supposedly a report was provided from Anna Bessicook.
On the conditions of all the animals there,
It was on the condition of the one that was euthanized.
right, so that doesn't mean,
So, I will tell you that when I did speak to the ACO, she said that if in fact animal welfare had been contacted, they would have come out, and if they would have seen, they would have said, you need to start feeding it and here's your warning. Because they don't wanna necessarily deal with the larger animals, it's not like a hoarding situation with 50 dogs.
there's also
So-
dogs there that is that.
As of today, I thought there was one dog left there, but, I did, as I said, when she gets me that report, I'm more than willing to share it to you. She said she would have it to me by the first of the week, and I'll email you a copy of everything that she has
Yeah,
documented
what you
down.
can legal, and I understand. that,
Absolutely,
But I can assure you, the state vet is now involved,
okay,
not, and it's because of lack of,
lack of care,
it's bad.
okay,
And it's also because it should have, our ACO dropped the ball, I'm sorry. That's my personal feeling. Yes,
it's noted, thank you.
and I can send you some pictures of that.
Yes, please. Yep, that would be great.
Any other public comment? Alright, moving on. We'll take an update from the Kennebec County Sheriff's Office.
As far as our patrols go, I read the last 8 that have been submitted. It's mostly a lot of traffic stuff. We're getting a lot of, still a lot of speeding, Toast Road. One of the intersections we're having a problem with is Townhouse Road in Hankerson right there, that stop sign. People blow that stop sign, unbelievable amount coming down through there. So we talk to people, the warning phase is over. We're gonna start writing people.
That's
Some
fine,
of them
perfect.
get creamed there.
Yep.
Pretty bad. I know there's an elderly lady there that she does a lot of walking in that garage. I've spoken with her.
Oh, yep, I know.
So that's come up quite a bit. But looking at the cases, it's mostly been speeding. We've had a lot of registration, inspection violations, insurance violations, suspended registrations, things like that. As far as any problem houses, do you guys have anything, anybody here, something that they would like us to address or we need to keep an eye on? Because obviously the citizens, you know, they hear a lot more stuff than what we do. So I know we have been dealing with Davenport Road for quite a while. I know there's some still stuff up in there, but if you guys, you know, if the citizens come in and say anything, please pass it along to us, because, you know, the narcotics and stuff is still here. They just keep moving it. So, anything you guys get, feel free. You know, Deputy Dixon, you can send it to me. I'll be happy to look into it.
You can send your accolades that you are a drug expert, so.
I don't know about expert, but I did work in narcotics for a long time, so that's kind of a passion I have, so I like going after them. So, I know for a while we had some houses on Townhouse, and like I said, Davenport, that were popping off pretty hard. We'd go in and stomp them out, and then they'd come right back again, so. Like I said, if anybody calls in some complaints, just let us know. We'll absolutely look into it and put eyes on it.
Any public comment on that?
Yes, sir.
They have townhouse, I almost clipped a little small cow with my 9-foot plow on the last storm because they did not wanna stop coming out of there.
Yeah, no, they
Yeah,
totally
they
do
just
that.
bailed way down and I almost got them. It's like, oh my god.
And
It's
I'm
not
not-
gonna hurt me any.
I mean, I don't know, there's nothing really that can be done to fix that, it's just people need to, and I hate to say it, but a lot of the people I pull over are people that live here. They know it, and they're just like, whatever, you know?
Right, there's a difference of just kind of rolling the stop sign, some of them cars are going through at 30, 40 miles an hour. Like, I was plowing there the other day, and I stopped, this car just went zoom, like, it's a stop sign, like,
Yeah.
snowstorm.
I gave a lot of people a lot of benefit of the doubt, and I think a lot of the officers did too, but that time's up, we're gonna start
Oh,
handling
absolutely.
people. I hate to write people tickets because, you know, we're all in hard times, money, but someone's gonna get hurt there if we don't, so. That's everything I have.
All set, everybody?
Yeah, we thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you, Sean.
No problem.
All right, adjustments, nothing?
I do actually have
Okay.
2 adjustments. One of them will just be a question for you under my report. The other thing is I'd like to add signing a municipal quitclaim deed for map 2, lot 58. That property is being sold and it's been, found out that there are like, liens from the 60s that were never released.
On that property you're talking about? right there?
Correct, yes, and I think what happened was, it was private sales, so nobody did their due diligence at the registry, and the liens just kind of got forgotten. So now this property's being sold, the attorney contacted me, I did look it up, I could see where they hadn't been released, so if you'll add this as an agenda item to approve the release of those, that would be great, then they can get closed on the property.
Look for any new business.
Yes, that'd be great, thank you.
Okay, consent agenda. Item A, AP warrant number 23 in the amount of $95,566.66. Item B, AP warrant number 24 in the amount of $270,230.24. Item C, payroll warrant week number 4 in the amount of $4,138.83. Item D, payroll warrant week number 5 in the amount of $3,875.81. Item E, payroll warrant number 6 in the amount of $4,927.63. Item F, payroll warrant week number 7 in the amount of $4,429.49. And minutes of the, item G, minutes of the January 15th select board meeting, I assume, 2025. And then item H, minutes of the January 23rd, 2025 work session. So I'll make a motion to approve articles A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H on the consent agenda as read. I have a motion and a second. Any public comment? All in favor? All right, new business. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 80K approvals. How do you want to handle it?
I think at this point, since Greg is out, that we could postpone them to the next meeting so we could get a brief update. That'll allow him a couple more weeks to maybe work with them at this point. Unfortunately, he's under the weather, so he's not able to be here to give us an update, and I don't want to give you any wrong information, so
We have Owen here, isn't it?
he's under this one.
Oh, okay, all right, I didn't see that.
So if you don't mind
No, that's
tabling
fine.
it till the next
Yep.
meeting,
You need a motion to do that.
I do.
So I'll make a motion to table items under new business, item 1, 2, 3, and 4. I have a motion and a second. Any public comment?
What is just an 80K approval? Are you allowed to speak on that at all, or?
I'll give you a copy of it.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, it was just
Too
vague.
long
I was
ago.
like,
Bring 2, will you?
never mind, wherever, yeah.
Sure. It's basically an enforcement issue that allows us to take them to court for violation of land use issues.
oh, okay, thank you, I just was
Yep.
like,
That's a brief synopsis there.
Thank you.
that's fine, thank you.
All right. Item 5 on the new business, budget committee appointment, Michael Heath.
In your package, you do have an application for the budget committee, Mr. Heath. At this point, you only have one person on the budget committee. We do need several more members. The process will be starting up again soon. So, if you appoint Mr. Heath, we'll have 2.
May I ask a question? I had emailed you, where is the application, because I'd like to fill one out to be on the budget committee.
Oh, it's not on the website? Did you not locate it on the website?
I couldn't find it, but that doesn't mean it wasn't there. I went on like the pages and I looked where it said like appointment, like I saw the RFP, but I looked on those 2 pages and I didn't see it.
Okay, all right, I will get you one. And, I'll make sure it's on the website also.
But, and if it is, I guess I could have missed it, but
Okay, as I think you and I have spoken before, some of them are going to the old
oh,
web
but in this,
page.
everything else, cause I went on and I was able to find all the phone numbers, so I
Okay.
knew that was updated and I, like I said, I went on under the budget committee and it wasn't there, and I went under where it says like something bids and appointment, whatever, thinking
Okay.
it'd be there and it wasn't. Those are the two tabs I checked and then glanced around, so.
Yep, we'll get you one.
All right, so I'll make a motion. This is for the end of this fiscal year.
This will only be till the end of this fiscal
Okay.
year, correct?
So I'll make a motion to appoint Michael Heath to the Budget Committee for the remainder of the 2024-2025 fiscal year. Have a motion and a second. Any public comment?
How many
Yes.
people do you need on the budget committee? How many people are you looking for?
At least 5.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, planning board 7, I think budget committee's 5. I believe though that the budget committee, and I was looking through that today, I think that they have to be elected in order to serve more than just the 1 year, which means you'd have to come and get papers.
Yeah.
And get signatures. Other than that, you only
But
serve
you could finish
the
out
1 year.
like this
You can
guy is
finish out the
doing.
term and then-
Yeah.
Right.
All right, so I have a motion and a second. Public comment, all in favor? Done deal. New business, item 6, the fire department radio upgrade bid opening and review.
As you will recall, a couple of meetings ago, we were trying to purchase radios with the grant that we received from the Stephen King Foundation. This board asked that it be sent out to bid based on the amount. I did send it to 5 separate radio companies. Excuse me, and we received 1 bid back. So with this board's approval, I'll open it. And we do have 25,000 from that grant to spend. The bid is from Radio Communications Management. There's a quote in the amount of $24,037.28. So, and I will tell you that, one of the firefighters did help me write that RFP because I didn't know what to put in it. So it was very specialized, which I'm sure is followed. So it's your choice if you'd like to award it to RCM, sorry.
What is your recommendation?
My recommendation would be
Okay.
to award it to them.
Yep. So I'll make a motion to accept the bid from Radio Communications of Chelsea for the fire department's upgrade to the radios. I have a motion and a second. Any public comment? All in favor?
Thank you.
Yeah, I lost the, check right there. All right, how do you wanna read that?
It's a municipal quitclaim deed, approve a municipal quitclaim deed for map 2 lot 58.
That's my motion. I have a motion, I need a second. A motion and a second, any public comment?
What is it, what property is it?
This is map 2 lot 58.
Down 226, almost to the line on the right,
You know that?
because I know the guy.
Oh.
What's whole life, never done
David Parker, released to David Parker. So,
Jack's Lane.
as I said, it was liens from the 60s that just got overlooked. And I did go to the registry website and verify they never got released for some reason. So this would just clear it up and allow the person to sell the property.
That came up, like, if you remember way back when I was on board, we had that issue before. There was a bunch from the 60s, we had to do something.
Who?
I do
Yeah.
remember that.
Yeah, I
There's
don't
been a
remember
few
that, but-
here and there that
Yeah,
have
and
come
it
out.
was, it seems like, she is correct, there's a bunch of old ones that for some reason, whoever we had, the ball got dropped bad, and I
Hey,
think.
shouldn't a title search find that?
If it's small private details, no. If I come to you and say, I'm gonna buy your property, here's the money, no title search, cash sale, you just file it and it's done, you go through an attorney.
Yeah. And if you own it for 30 years after that, nobody ever sees it.
Nobody ever's right. So it's, if it's long-term family land and changes amongst family and
Yeah.
stuff like that, they don't always get caught. If it's not financed, a lot of times you're not gonna hire a title company, cause it's more, I mean, most people will, but if you hire a good land attorney, you don't have to, so and it's, now that stuff is more accessible, people are gonna start, and stuff is gonna fly. But I do remember we had this in the past, there's a bunch, I wanna say 60s and some, I think it was the early 70s.
So I have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Thank you.
All right, that is the end of new business. Old business. Item 1, the dangerous building discussion on 10 Searles Mill Road. So this has been ongoing.
Yep,
You're here.
yep,
We missed you the last meeting.
yes,
I think it was
yep,
in Florida.
yep. Yeah.
Where do we stand?
Yeah, we're making progress. I've been inside. Most of the stuff I've been doing with the weather being as cold as I've been working inside. Basically, it's old rough cut 4x4s and 2x4s. So we've been shimming the walls out, insulating it, stuff like that, hanging drywall, stuff like that on the outside wall, stuff like that. So it's been cold, so the skid steer hasn't been fired up to finish up. I got a little bit left to dig out, and then that's the only reason why that one wall is not finished. Because we've been running that skid steer underneath to clean that up. But all the walls are down, other than that one, I want to say 25 feet. I don't know what it exactly is, but we've been working inside and shimming out the walls. I'm actually, I've been there pretty much 3 to 4 days a week. And I'm actually gonna be there more because I'm actually unemployed now. So I'll be there almost every day. So, but yeah, it's moving forward inside. We've been putting windows in the front, getting it trimmed in, get the doors trimmed in the front. So, weather permitting outside, most of the stuff I've been doing inside to move forward on getting that wrapped up. So, but yeah, we're hanging drywall and stuff like that inside, and there was no insulation, no insulation at all in it. So I mean, getting rid of the old plaster and stuff like that. So I mean, even though there isn't a lot seen outside, I've been inside and doing work inside to get that wrapped up. So.
When was the last time you talked to Greg?
Last time I talked to Greg was probably during the town meeting. Well, he called me for the town meeting, and yeah.
For January last.
Yes. Yep. For January. Yeah. Cause yeah, I mentioned to him I was in the vehicle, and he pulls in the dooryard and pulls out of the dooryard. Doesn't even get out, talk to me or anything like that. So he's like, I didn't see you or something. So, but yeah, we've been poking around. I'm there 3 to 4 days a week. I mean, I got a white truck, and it's in the dooryard 3 to 4 days a week that I'm in there doing work with a space heater and stuff like that. I do apologize for bringing them. Everybody's sick in the house, and yeah, so they're the only ones that ain't sick. So yeah, so I do apologize.
So one of the comments in January was that the rubble, trash, whatever.
Yep.
Down back to the right. That was a big concern of the board and I think Greg.
Okay. So we do have dirt piles
Cleaning.
there, and there is some stuff on the dirt piles, but I can take the excavator and pop what's on top. That's no problem. Hold on a sec. So I can do that and get a roll-off dumpster from Gregory's there and pick off the top. That's no problem. But there is a lot of dirt mounds we've hauled out. We went from 4.5 5-foot ceilings to 8-foot ceilings down in the basement. So there's a lot of dirt mounds that there is stuff set on the dirt mounds. Christopher, wait 1 second. So yes, I can get a roll off there and pluck up any of the trash there, stuff like that. That's no problem there.
Okay.
Okay.
Sherry?
When I drove by, I'm concerned that even the walls, the footings that you have done with
Yep.
the blocks,
Yep.
it appears that the frost is making them shift. They don't look as straight as they did when you first started setting those.
Yeah, no, everything's still, all the lines, motor lines and all that's still straight on it. There is one corner that I nipped, I got hung up with a skid steer, so it has a little crack, I gotta fix a couple blocks on the corner where my bulkhead is. But yeah, it was, it's all clay there, so when it got wet, it's a big machine to be rolling in and out, so I do have, a repair to do on the very corner where the bulkhead is, where that, stop, please stop. Yeah, so I do have, some repair blocks to do right there where, I mean, it's a 12,000-pound machine that got jammed up against the corner, so.
Okay.
And everything's 4 foot, every block is filled every 4 foot, number 4 rebar in it, and we put crossbars in it, everything else for, that wire mesh for the blocking and everything, so I mean, yeah, it's definitely, and we put, I think it's either 2 or 2.5 inch of urethane foam on the outside of the foundation all the way around of urethane foam, yeah, on it, so to help for frost and stuff like that, so.
And also,
My biggest concern is, you say you're putting drywall up, and I don't think that's the greatest idea with it not being, the foundation being done, it's not.
Well,
It
so,
looks to me like the building's doing one of these numbers, and you're setting your windows and doors in, and it's not set down yet. I'm
Yeah.
not sure if it's gonna work out for you.
so the windows and doors we're putting in are all on the walls and sitting on the foundation, same thing with the drywall, so everything towards the south of the house, the living room, all that, is where we are finishing up, cause we're all sitting right on the plate. So, so that's where, the only thing that we're not setting on is, I would assume it's what they call the north side of the house. But yeah, so the north side of the house, we're not doing any of the interior work, it's all on the south side, where we're all set on, a solid foundation for that.
Alright, I guess we're,
so the north side, you have a pallet off to the left.
Yes,
What is that?
okay, so the pallet off to the left had some blocks on it, in the very front of the house.
No, to the north side of the house, the side of the house. If I'm looking at it, left side, there's a pallet, probably 20 feet away,
Okay.
probably shrink wrapped. What's on that pallet, and are you gonna be using that in the house?
Okay, I'm really not sure,
Okay.
what it is, We did have a pallet of block there, okay? I got enough block to finish in the basement, I got another 60, 70 blocks in the basement, stuff like that. But, yeah, I'm not sure what you're talking about, but I mean, if it's something that's to do with the house, we'll put it inside, it's no problem at this point.
Well, no, I was just
Yeah.
curious what it was. I couldn't tell
Yeah, yeah,
what it was.
Okay.
I was just curious.
yeah,
I went there in January before this meeting.
Okay.
Or that last meeting,
yeah,
and I couldn't figure out what it was.
okay.
I almost think I asked Greg, and maybe,
I thought it was sewer,
Infiltrations.
Thank you.
So in the field, yeah, the big black square things
is that
yeah,
what-
that's all,
Yes, that's
infiltrators for the septic system.
oh, it is.
Yeah, so it's probably like $6,000 worth of
And
infiltrators.
by sitting there,
It's all plastic,
in
it's,
the elements, it does nothing.
yeah, no, it's all
damage
plastic.
to it. Okay.
Yeah,
So where do we, I know Greg's not here, where do we go from here?
This is entirely your decision if you wanna move forward with, giving him the time limits up, or, cause you told him you wanted to meet with him in January, and you would decide then where you wanted to go with the dangerous building.
So you just said you were unemployed now.
yeah,
What is,
well, shut ABC Fuel down. I'm the owner of ABC Fuel,
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
shut that down, but I mean, I got gravel trucks going on in probably, I don't know, the pits ain't gonna open up until what, April, depends on weather conditions, really, so, I mean, yeah. I don't have no work until basically April, depends on weathers and, road postings and all that, but yeah. So I
where
got
you living?
2 flow boys and stuff like that. What's that?
Where do you live?
Well, I live, most of the time in Augusta.
So the being unemployed or shutting your business down,
Yeah,
I mean, what does it do to the project? What does it do?
I'll be there more often, because I don't have to worry
Well,
about.
I get that, but I mean, financially, what
Oh, yeah, I get investment properties and stuff like that.
Okay.
So that's
that? So
not,
that doesn't hinder
that
it?
does not impact any of this, so no. It just means I'll be there more often, that's all that means.
Okay,
So, and then, like it says, gravel and all that don't start up until, I don't even know what roads, when you guys unpost roads, once they get posted, I mean, weather permitting pretty much on that, but yeah.
okay. Well, I guess I would say, it's my opinion that I would rather have him come in when Greg's feeling better, come in and have another sit down. His biggest concern is still that he believes it's a dangerous building.
Okay.
You know, now that you're gonna be there more, do you have liability insurance on that property?
No. No, I don't,
Nothing.
no.
So that's a concern, you know, when you're not there, people see that days on end you're not there. I'm concerned about just local riffraff, knowing that
So
you're not there.
I've been for the most part, I do have a motorhome there, I do stay here and there in the motorhome, just to keep presence there. But yeah, I mean, I can keep more of a presence there, that's all I can do. I mean, I can put a temporary wall up, where that last piece is, and then that pretty much takes it out of, the foundation being an issue. I mean, I can do a 2x6 wall with plywood and do that until spring. That would make you guys,
Well, I'm more concerned with just some local kids,
yeah.
know that you're not
I
there,
can stay there more
climb
often.
around,
That's no problem.
a wall falls on them or something, and then they come after you.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Yeah, so
Because
no,
it's a
no-
dangerous building.
Yeah, so no, I'll stay more presence there, that's no problem.
All right, so, Sherry, what are your thoughts?
I agree that Greg should be here. I still think it's a dangerous building. I would be okay moving forward if you would get a policy for liability insurance and have a temporary fence around the property. You know, to actively keep people out so they know it's a work zone. But this has been going on for a while, and I understand life happens, but we need to also protect people, our kids in the neighborhood.
So all the empty houses in Chelsea, do you guys require that for insurance on all the empty properties in Chelsea?
That doesn't look like all the other houses in Chelsea.
Well, there's houses that haven't been finished in 30 years in the town. And I doubt you asked requiring everybody that has empty property to have that too?
We are working through dangerous buildings and buildings that are up to code. And Greg has got a list going and we're taking them as they come. So he is actively working through the list. Are we hitting everybody at once? No, because you can't, it's Greg's time and our budget legally can't handle it. So we are, doing a few at a time. And when we get yours settled, we'll move on to the next one.
Yeah, okay. I see there's been properties way before this one for years. And then, so that's why finish this one up and move into the next one just kind of seems like, So, I don't, It's you guys' decision. I'm still gonna move forward on whatever you guys do. If you guys want, we can get an attorney involved and everything else. I'm still gonna move forward on it. I need a house. It's up to you guys what you guys wanna do. It doesn't, I'm still gonna work there even whatever, but I'm gonna be working there. It's gotta be done. So,
We're trying to work with you. If we
Yeah.
took Greg's recommendation,
So Greg, you guys may think Greg's great. He tells you one thing, tells me another thing. Oh, yeah, you're moving progress, no big deal. When we stand here, geez, Mr. Strait, don't look like he's doing anything. It's worse now than it ever has. Greg, he pulls in the door in my vehicle, and then he backs up and he looks right at me. I mean, you got an issue, he doesn't even take pictures until after I leave the property. You got issues, take pictures while I'm there. I mean, really? I mean, you wait till I leave the property to take pictures. I mean, he goes by it's pretty obvious you see the car, so you drive by, why wouldn't you just say, hey Owen, how's it going, or, hey, I mean, why would you, I'm in my vehicle, he pulls in, looks at me and backs up and drives out. I mean, I know Greg's busy too, but I mean, it's not that, I mean, I'm there 3 or 4 days a week, and if you don't believe me, that the neighbor's got a video camera that points in the driveway. You can ask him that, I mean, I'm there 3 or 4 days a week, and I'm moving forward on it, so it's not that I'm not there. So, but I've gone around the town, you guys have a very nice town, and there's a lot of places before this house that's been issues for years. And I feel that Greg has a vendetta against me and has an issue with me. And I think he's got me confused with my father. Okay, my father has the same name as me, and I don't know what Greg's issue is with it or what, but I think there's an issue between me and Greg. I mean, I was at the property and he had the state plumbing inspector show up. We're just cleaning up outside. I mean, Greg has an issue with me. So I don't know, no, sorry. Okay, so I mean, I'll move forward on it, but I mean, I think Greg's terrible, to be honest with you. I know he's an employee of you guys and everything else, but the town meeting here the last time I was here, I talked to him outside, yeah, we'll get together, not big deal, you move in progress. Okay, and then, yeah, I mean, I'm out there working. The town, I mean, you guys ain't spending no money. I mean, it sounds like you guys paid $10,000, have water and sewer connected to a trailer that you guys been fighting with on 2 years' worth. I mean, I'm moving forward. I'm trying not to cost any extra cost that's necessary. And, I mean, we're still moving forward. So whatever you guys want to do, if you want to shut me down, whatever, still gonna move forward. We can get lawyers, whatever. But I'm going to be there every day that I can and still move forward.
Okay.
I'm sorry I missed the last meeting. My mother's not feeling good. She was having surgery down in Florida. And my family means more to me than showing up to the meeting, and I do apologize to you guys for that. But Greg usually calls me the night of and says, hey, we got a town meeting, you go and be there. Well, you know, I mean, he should give me a little bit more notice than call me up 3 hours before and say, hey, go meet at the meeting. That's what Greg usually does on the meetings. I mean, they ain't much notice.
All right. Are you all set, Sharon?
Mhm.
Jake?
I mean, I get it's been a battle, it's been a long time, and you probably are there working, it was just, you know, it's a liability issue. The ACO's been there a few times with the chickens, I believe Greg said those infiltrators aren't gonna pass, but there's supposedly, there's a time frame on those, the sun will mold together and they're not gonna work.
I've never heard of anything, and I can talk to consultants again to ask them, but if that's the case with buying again, it ain't a big deal. I mean, you guys have the house value just the shape it's in for $120,000. That's what you guys are taxing just the house, the condition it is $120,000. With the land is $170,000 for the house.
I think that's what it's valued at.
You can certainly abate that, ask for an abatement on that.
Well, I mean, you guys have been, I mean, big what? You guys know the condition it's been for years. I mean, that's what you guys say it's valued at.
All right, so, it's my recommendation that you come in and sit down with both Greg and our town manager.
Yep.
Come up with, and again, we're going on 3 years now, we're gonna make these arrangements. You know, it's the board's feeling that you haven't fulfilled your end. We're
Yep.
trying to work with you because we keep
Yep.
extending this.
Yep.
So, before we make our final decision, you need to come in and reach out, make an appointment to sit down with both Greg and Christine at the
Okay.
same time. And
Okay.
if one of us can be there,
Yeah.
we would like to be there.
Okay.
So, we know exactly what is said,
Yeah.
so there's no,
Yeah,
he said this when I'm there, then when we come here, there's a
No
different
problem.
story. We don't want that.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna go from there. Are we set with that? Okay. You don't need a motion for that? All right, any public comment? All right, that's what we're gonna do, okay?
Do you have something for me to wash this, the boys got?
That's okay,
Are
we'll
you
get it,
sure?
we'll
Yeah,
get it,
you're
yeah,
fine, you're fine.
yep, comes right off.
Okay.
Am I saying, just
Of course you can.
So, I know, just listening about the fence stuff, my recommendation, just to sort of protect yourself a little bit, put posted signs up, something.
Yeah, I have no
Okay.
trespassing
I haven't
signs yet.
seen, I just wanted
Yeah,
to ask.
yeah, I do have
you.
some no
Just
trespassing signs in
something,
the window.
something a little bit, I mean, by law, it really doesn't make a huge difference
No.
if someone goes on there, but just make sure you have something there to say, hey, look, nobody should be in here, that way if we do get called
Yeah.
out there,
Yeah, no way
or
for
a
shit.
legal thing, and say, hey, there's a posted sign right here, you can clearly see it.
Yeah, and I'll put some more, that's no problem there, so.
So we're gonna have Greg reach out to you
Okay, perfect.
and then figure out,
Yeah, absolutely.
all right?
We'll
Thank
get you
you.
situated.
Okay.
Awesome. Come on, Benjamin.
Do you mind grabbing me the Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. All right. Legal, we have none, written communication.
Obviously, it's budget season, we've been kind of crazy working on that, we're getting our packages together for the board. Hope to be ready by the end of the week.
Working with a new dog system.
Oh, yes, so the state has implemented a new dog system similar to the centralized voter registration system, where all dogs are now licensed through a state system. It's been kind of complicated, so we're working through that. We're also getting training on the plate change, when we're going to the trees or the non-trees from the chickadees. So everybody's been taking turns getting training for that. What else? Oh, so the other thing that I wanted to talk to you about was the Toga Stream Bridge project. We talked about having a procurement policy for FEMA funds. I since learned, and I think I told this board, that FEMA is going to take care of the engineer because it's a blue line stream, meaning migrating fish. So as part of the whole project on fixing and repairing that culvert or that, whatever you call that thing, FEMA will completely pay for the engineer. I met with the engineer on site a couple of weeks ago. This gentleman's actually doing a ton of jobs from that storm for FEMA. He did reach out to me today. He said he had a question on, let me think now. There was two questions. If I preferred a certain project over another, and I told him whatever was feasible is what we were looking for, as opposed to a box culvert or a bridge, or just replacing what we had there. The other thing was, he wanted to send out boring engineers to take test samples of that location, which would mean that the road would probably be down to one lane for 2 days. And how would we like to handle that, if the engineer would need to cover safety or if we had a public works? And I said, no, the engineer would have to take care of that. So that'll be happening. You'll see road closures on that. He'll let me know 2 or 3 days ahead of time so that fire and ambulance can be told. The other thing that he asked, and I told him I would run it by this board, is if it ends up being suggested that it's a bridge and that's the most feasible changeover for funding, would the board have an issue with that road being shut down for approximately 8 months to completely do it? And I believe I told him it was shut down, what, 6 months before?
I don't remember how long it was, but
Wow.
it was a while.
Yeah. Will be such a big project that it wouldn't be anything you could even leave half the road
On the right
open.
side, it'll keep traffic off the road, save the road for a year.
Right? That's the plus side, right?
I mean, well, it is what it is.
And that's what I basically told him. I thought that probably we have to take care of it. It's already now starting to buckle up in the center. I mean, thankfully, maybe we won't have the rains and the snow melt that we had this past year, that we'll be able to save it, but
And usually on the ice we have, anything could happen this spring.
Yeah. So, I will let him know that you guys are, it is what it is kind of feeling, and we'll wait and see what the report says.
FEMA,
Yes.
do we have any issues with the new administration and the battle with FEMA that they're in the middle of? Do we think that this is gonna affect this project at all?
I have not heard anything from our FEMA representative, Marisol, that is.
You may wanna ask some questions.
I can,
I mean, they're in the news every day.
yeah, I can certainly reach out to her and ask her. She seems pretty darn smart. I'll certainly ask her. I think she'd be honest with me about that. If she thought there was gonna be a problem, she would call and say, we don't have money. But I will reach out to her and I'll report back to you.
Any other questions? Public comment?
Just the one right down here in the corner, bottom.
No. Windsor Road.
Windsor Road.
Just
oh.
past those.
Togus Road.
Oh, maybe I did say Togus Road, I'm sorry. Windsor Road.
Total stream.
Togus Stream, I did say Togus Stream, yes.
Okay, town office report.
That's in there.
Yep. Any issues with that? Fire chief report, that's actually I'd like to see. Is that in there?
So, that is not in there. What I have, this is a new addition to your agenda. I did speak with the fire chief last week. He was in on Friday, and I told him I'd give him a reprieve for this meeting, because I didn't think he could prepare it within a few hours. But he will have a monthly report for you in your package, basically the amount of calls, what they were pertaining to, and if he's unable to give the report, he will show up at the meeting and give you a report. So, it's going to change from now on.
Okay, code enforcement, that was in there, that was briefly. ACO,
That's in there also.
any public comment on those two? All right, verbal. RSU, I see none, unless that's Henry. Did I wake you?
No, not yet.
The Superintendent Tuttle will be at your next meeting to give you a budget preview, along with our budget preview that night, so come with popcorn. The school board meeting's canceled for tomorrow, so our new school board member isn't even gonna get to go to his first meeting.
All right, boards and committees, see none. Anything else? Sherry?
I'm good.
Have we got the sand shed developed? I meant to go
So, you said sand?
I haven't been over there or
Yeah.
checked anything, see if it's.
McGee's did deliver sand the first of last week. Yeah, I think it was the first of last week. I wanna say 200 yards, if I remember correctly. It was enough to mix what was left for the salt, and they said they weren't gonna deliver anymore until more salt was delivered. And I believe salt was delivered Monday and Tuesday of this week. So McGee should be bringing some more. I did speak to Mike Burgess about not putting as much in there, and letting us sit on it, because the flooring does need some patching. So he said he's gonna try to kind of time it right, and we'll see how close we can get, but.
And then anything on that tree on the townhouse road, the fire department, you guys figure anything out with that? No?
I did ask Sean, I believe in an email, I'll follow up with Sean. I know he's been kind of crazy working for his new employer, but I will follow up with Sean and ask.
I guess that's it, yeah.
That tree on.
Townhouse.
No, there was another tree that I had, Abel take down, Shivari. He took that down, it was on Hollow Road, I believe.
Yes,
That was kind of an issue that's been,
by Al Plants. That big
No.
tree is right next to the road.
no, there was another one that's been an issue where a branch actually fell on somebody's car by her mailbox. I'll find out, I'll let you guys know, but that was a cost of $1,500, so.
That cost us?
Yeah, it was in our road right away.
Yeah.
Where on the whole,
I don't recall right off the top of my head.
Hmm.
No.
Right, I have nothing, so. Other than that, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Motion second, all in favor?
Thank you. I do have some stuff for you guys to sign.